people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, we'll start with this. The latest as it pertains to unbeaten up-and-comer from Canada, Bri Howling, who posted this via her Instagram account, a caption that reads, "Signed. After a tough couple of years trying to get fights and stay active, my team and I are pleased to announce my signing with US-based promotional outfit King's Promotions. A very busy year is set for next year to bring us a step closer to world titles at bantamweight and super bantamweight. We'll be out in the new year for our first bout. Keep your eyes out for the fight announcement. This year, the world will finally begin to see what I am, the best bantam and super bantam on the planet."
King's Promotions.
One of the smaller, more local promotional outfits in the sport of boxing. You may be familiar with King's Promotions. They're the ones who used to promote Alicia Baumgartner before she signed to Matchroom. For a time, I believe they were both promoting her simultaneously, though I'm not sure that she's with them anymore, as she's outgrown the need for them. But young Bri Howling, a young fighter, an unbeaten one, who's just starting out, she could stand to benefit from this partnership, because what she needs more than anything is activity. What she needs more than anything are rounds in the bank and a regular schedule of activity. And King's Promotions, they can do that for her. They can provide her with that much. Sporting a professional record of 5 wins with no losses, no draws, 1 recorded knockout, having never been knocked out in 5 bouts. I've talked about Bri Howling in the past, how talented she is. Even though she doesn't come from a deep amateur background, she's a natural, and she's spiteful. Very entertaining to watch, a boxer puncher with a respectable punch and a lot of skills.
She's good.
Campaigning at or around 122 pounds, she means to become a champion at either 118 or 122, though I think it's going to be 122. That's a very deep division, a very deep weight class. That's where Erica Cruz currently reigns as that division's WBA champion. Mexico's own Yemi Mercado, she's got the WBC. France's own Sigaline Lafarve, she's got the WBO. And the United Kingdom's own Ellie Scottney
Of Catford.
She's got the IBF. As well as the contenders you find at or around this weight: Argentina's own Nazarena Romero, Ramla Ali, Mexico's own Mayeli Flores. Believe you me, these are not barren divisions. This is not a barren weight class. There are enough champions and challengers to go around. The talent pool is quite deep at 122, and it's that much deeper with Bri Howling integrating herself into the mix. King's Promotions, they can get her some fights, and that's what she needs more than anything right now. She needs activity. She's only 5-0.
With lots of lost time to make up for.
Bri Howling debuted as a professional way back there in September of 2019. She only fought once that year, only fought once in 2020, once in 2021, once in 2022, and once this year.
Is that 1 fight a year in the last 4 or 5 years?
She's already got a fight on schedule with veteran journeywoman Noemi Bosquez for March of next year, and that's an encouraging omen. That's a good sign that she's already got a fight lined up in the first quarter of next year, and if she takes care of business, they can line her up for another in the second or third quarter, maybe the fourth quarter, to where we see Bri Howling fighting more than once a year for a change. That's what she needs. I think that she should be able to beat Noemi Bosquez. Noemi, a very experienced gatekeeper that shared the ring with a lot of fighters. Bri Howling will be the latest. I like Bri to win the fight. King's Promotions can promote her and help get her to a title, help get her to that point the same way they did Alicia Baumgartner, who Bri Howling has actually been a sparring partner for. It's what she's been doing between fights, just staying ready in between fights and sparring who she can, where she can. Very good experiences to be had there. This is welcome news. No, it's not Matchroom, it's not Top Rank, but it will suffice. For the moment, this could be a very good move for Bri Howling, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in the coming year.
Has signed a 2-fight deal to face each other.
But I thought Anthony was ducking Wilder.
What can you tell anybody, the people about? Is that deal still on the table, or is it official? What's going on with that?
What's gonna be going on with it? Wilder lost.
Man,
You lost. You lost to Joseph.
Is he crying?
you know, it's so, man, it just,
You lost.
I pause because it just, it's so much going on, man. They really don't want that fight, man.
Do you hear this guy?
No, they don't. They don't.
They really don't want that fight. And when I lost, you see how happy he was coming out.
Bro, I'm telling you, I almost
I
threw
laughed.
up, bro. I almost threw up.
I'm about to throw up. That any content creator out there still thinks it's necessary to glaze Deontay Wilder and stroke his ego. Did you come up for some air?
Literally, I'm telling you, I had acid reflux. It like came up to my throat, man. I was so disgusted when I seen Eddie Hearn was so happy and excited.
Was that excitement, or was that Eddie Hearn laughing at Deontay Wilder's misfortune? That he spent the whole fight week claiming that Joseph Parker was avoiding him and he was going to punish him, only for him to lose 12 out of 12 rounds to that guy.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
ain't never seen somebody this happy to get out of a huge payday.
They don't need Wilder for a payday. He needs them.
So he like, oh yeah, I don't rate him, man. Yeah. And then Joshua come down to the ring. This man looked like he got rejuvenated. I mean,
Man, Christmas was today.
Man, this man was so excited.
You sound excited. Sitting in a circle jerk with Deontay, telling him everything that he wants to hear so that he doesn't feel bad for not holding up his end of the bargain.
He went back to the old Joshua immediately.
Well, I ain't lying. He might well thank me, boy. You so hit it on the head there, boy.
That man said the coast is clear.
Hey.
You mean the same Anthony Joshua that had already signed on to fight Wilder before Wilder dropped the ball and lost to Joseph Parker?
I ain't lying. Now I can escape, bro. I saw it in the back. I swear to God, man, I bust out laughing in the back when I saw that. I said, that nigga happy as fuck. Everybody said, hell yeah.
Yeah, he happy. Man,
Boy, I made him be able to perform like shit. I ain't got to fight Wilder. Because the rumor was that he was talking about retiring if I won.
What rumor? There was no rumor of Anthony retiring if Wilder wins his fight. The rumor was if Wilder wins and AJ wins, they'll fight next year. What the fuck is he talking about? Anthony was right when he said that he could have ripped Deontay Wilder apart, given everything Deontay said about him, but he chose not to.
I'm sure there was a monitor on there showing Deontay Wilder losing to Joseph Parker. What was it like to watch that right before your fight?
I wasn't watching. I just focus on myself, like the whole fight week. Let's do a tally of how many people mentioned my name this week. And I'm just sitting there focusing on myself because I know how important this fight is for me. I heard that Deontay lost, so what, he'll come back, but it shows that it's fine margins in this business, and I wanted to be victorious. I had to focus. No one's running, ducking from anyone. I told you, everyone that I've been in the ring with earlier, but I needed to focus on this man. But Deontay, everything that he said about me, I could rip him apart right now. But I'm going to take the higher ground, and I hope he comes back.
Where does that fight stand for you? I mean, there's been so many stops and starts with that fight over the last few years. Was that loss in your mind kind of the final nail in the coffin for that fight?
What, his loss?
His loss.
No, why would... Listen, look at the board this evening. You know, he's come back and you can do anything. Just don't give up. Keep on pushing, keep on striving. You can do anything. And if he wants, he can come back and he can fight another day. And it's up to him. I'm sure everyone still wants to see that fight, right? Or do they want to see me fight?
Do you notice the difference in character? The difference in how both men handle situations? That Anthony, he could have kicked him when he was down, but he didn't. Whereas Deontay, he's got to run back to his sycophants. Tell them, they don't really want that fight. When I lost, did you see how happy he was coming out? I broke out laughing. I said, that guy's happy as fuck. I made him to perform like that. He was like, I ain't got to fight Wilder.
Do you see the difference in character between them?
How they handle news of each other's victories, news of each other's losses. Do you notice the difference in character? Character in and of itself, it goes a long way because character is what allows you to accept defeat and learn from it. Do not make any excuses. No excuses. You accept it. So you take it for what it is, you take what you can use, and then you allow it to make you better. That's what having character can do, whereas Deontay Wilder is more accustomed to playing a character, putting up a front, a facade.
For his acolytes, for his sycophants.
The ones who have already taken to social media to once again start cooking up conspiracy theories as to what happened, why couldn't he deliver, why didn't he beat Joseph Parker, why did he lose 12 out of 12 rounds. I saw one channel that goes by the name Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. They got him. A secret society got to Wilder, and Malik Scotch destroyed him.
Do you hear this guy?
It's gotta be that a secret fucking society got to Wilder. And that's why he lost the Joseph Parker fight. It's not because he's a limited one-handed puncher with no skills, no cardio, no coordination, 2 left feet.
No, it's the Illuminati, bro.
Some content creators do this because they want to continue to capitalize off that Wilder revenue stream, what remains of his supporters, his fans. That's why some content creators do it, but some others, like this Hood Champion guy, some of them do it just because they don't know any better. They don't know shit about boxing. They don't know nothing about nothing, and they view Wilder as a reflection of themselves, a reflection of who they are, and that's very much the case because Wilder's a fucking idiot, and so are they. That's why he was able to fool them. Interesting comment from a guy who claims to be a Panther or one of the Panthers or whatever. It's obvious Hearn set up Wilder. Wilder was stupid to take that fight against Parker. Come on. Wilder is right. I was thinking this exact thing. They did not want the Wilder fight. That's why Hearn made him fight against Parker. They wanted to go the route where they can fight for a belt. And it wasn't Eddie Hearn's idea that Wilder fight Joseph Parker.
Eddie Hearn had no say-so in the matter.
Wasn't even a lead promoter for the show. That was Frank Warren in Queensbury. He wasn't the lead promoter, he wasn't the financier, and he had no control over who Wilder would fight in the co-main event. It's just more of the same. More of the same cockamamie conspiracy theories to prop up what is the false idol of a few misguided idiots and the content creators that capitalize off of their ignorance and stupidity.
But Wilder says he's not retiring.
He says, I've got to get my killer instinct back. I'm too at peace. I'm too happy. When I had that dog in me, nobody had a chance. I will be a 2-time heavyweight world champion.
No, you won't.
Because you don't have it in you. The list of fighters, the list of heavyweights that actually reclaimed a heavyweight title after losing it, it's a very short list. And Anthony is on it, but you're not. You don't have it in you. You don't have the intestinal fortitude it takes to rise from this. The character, the strength of character, or the skills to turn to. You ain't got what it takes.
You're never gonna be a champion again.
Ever. Word is out. You think anybody's running scared from this guy that didn't do nothing for 12 out of 12 rounds? This thing, this rancor that Wilder has for AJ, this thing between them, it's a jealousy thing. It's an inferiority complex thing. When AJ's around, he makes Wilder feel inferior. AJ's fans make Wilder's fans feel inferior, comparative.
Hence the overcompensation, the wild accusations, the conspiracy theories.
It's a coping mechanism. Their perception of themselves and their reality as it pertains to boxing is shaken, is rattled, as soon as you take stock of how things really are. That when Wilder went to the Olympics, all he came back with was the bronze. Anthony won the gold. In the pros, Anthony's been a unified champion, held 3 belts at once, whereas Wilder, he only ever held that one title, and he never got it back. Anthony is part of a short list of fighters that saw themselves become 2-time heavyweight champions. Wilder, he's not on that list.
And he never will be.
Because he is inferior. Inferior by every measurable, quantifiable metric that is a metric. Every fact and every stat tells the story of Wilder not being up to scratch with Anthony Joshua in any capacity, and any excuse you want to make for him, for his shortcomings, that, well, he was a late starter in the sport. Yeah, so was Anthony, and Anthony still won the gold.
They like to say that Wilder was never supposed to make it this far, that he's an overachiever. Well, you could say the same thing about Anthony because he was a late starter in the sport.
Just did it a lot better than Wilder. Where Wilder won the bronze, Anthony won the gold. Where Wilder won 1 title, Anthony won 3, and even after he lost them, he got them back. Currently, he may yet see himself become a 3-time heavyweight champion, superior to Deontay Wilder in every facet, in every way that you can imagine in terms of spirit and strength of character. He shows more of it than Deontay does.
Deontay had to drug himself to return to the sport of boxing. He literally had to take psychedelic drugs.
Wilder and Wilder's fans, as it pertains to Anthony Joshua, it's always going to be a bit more personal when it comes to him because he makes Wilder feel inferior, look inferior, and Wilder's fans resent that because they view Wilder as a reflection of themselves. Thus, if he is inferior, then so are they.
Well, it's not really that many of them.
Pumping out videos about Wilder does not conjure up the same interest that it used to in previous years because who still has the energy for it, that dwindling fan base? And remember that this guy was on pay-per-view, a pay-per-view that he was headlining late last year, and practically nobody bought it. Just because you got a bunch of losers talking about you online doesn't mean they're actually your supporters, actually your customers, even if they claim to be. Unless they're shelling out cash money to see you fight, it's all much ado about nothing, and that's the situation with Deontay Wilder, because I reiterate, he was on pay-per-view late last year. For all this hullabaloo about who would headline Saturday's show, Wilder headlined his own show. And where were the fans?
Where were all the guys that watch Hockey TV videos?
All the guys that watch Dante's Cheeseburger Nation and Boxing Ego and 78 Sports and that entire conglomerate of LDBC channels that love to prop up Deontay Wilder. Where were all those people? Where were all their wallets? Where was their support? Nowhere.
Because they're useless. It doesn't get said enough that even though those are all very big channels, bigger channels than this one,
pull in more views than this channel does on a regular basis. The audience they cater to, they're not actually consumers. They're not actually regular customers in the sport of boxing. And what they are, these are the guys that rely on pirated streams to watch boxing. The guys that steal PBC pay-per-views, Wilder pay-per-views. So with fans like that, with supporters like that, who needs enemies?
the audience you pander to are nothing but a bunch of bums.
Deontay Wilder himself, he can go as far as admitting that he lost, and he lost fair and square. He lost fair and square to Joseph Parker. He can go as far as admitting that he's lost his killer instincts, that he's too happy now and he needs to get those killer instincts back. He can admit to that, but he could never admit that he's second fiddle, not even second fiddle, third or fourth fiddle to Anthony Joshua, that you just don't measure up. What losing to Joseph Parker does in this era to Deontay Wilder and his legacy, what it shows is we can see you're not as good as Anthony Joshua because Anthony beat that guy. He beat that guy years ago. In fact, one or two other guys beat that guy. You couldn't.
Derek Chisora put up a better fight against Joseph than Wilder did.
Joe Joyce knocked him out. And none of them had Wilder's reputation as being this era's biggest puncher or one of the biggest punchers the sport has ever seen. Some felt he was the biggest puncher of all time. No, Derek Chisora and Joe Joyce did not have Deontay Wilder's reputation, but the both of them performed a lot better against Joseph than Wilder did. So what does that tell you about Wilder, and what does that tell you about his reputation?
It's all bullshit. It's always been bullshit.
78 Sports can continue to stroke his ego, or anybody else, but the world is getting wise, the world is getting hip, that Wilder never was what they said he was. And he is greatly lacking strength of character.